Well, hello there. Welcome back to another Laravel live coding session today on YouTube. Today I want to show you how to sell products with Paddle and Laravel. So Paddle is a payment provider, just like Stripe, but they do things a little bit different because they also handle your tax. So this is a big deal when you're running a SaaS. For example, here in the Netherlands, we have a set of tax rules, but there's also a thing called digital tax, digital services tax. I'm no expert on taxes, but you have to deal with taxes when you're running a SaaS online, because you've got to deal with a lot of different countries and they have different rules, and it's a bit complicated. So here is Paddle. And they are really great. So they handle all the tax stuff for you, so you can focus on your product or on your service. And I've built a little package for it a while ago. This one, Laravel Paddle, which lets you interact with the API, and it also accepts webhooks. So this is not something like Cashier from the first party Laravel packages. It doesn't come with modals or any app logic. It's just a wrapper around the API and a way to interact with webhooks and events. But that can be enough if you don't need all the complicated subscription stuff. This might be enough for you. So let's dive right in. I've got a fresh Laravel application with Laravel Breeze installed, which is the authentication scaffold. I've made a user for myself, which you can see here in the database. I'm the only user at this moment. So let's start by installing the package. Let's grab this little piece of code. So this package has no additional dependencies. It's just Laravel Paddle, and that's it. It uses the HTTP wrapper from Laravel 8 itself. So you don't need to install Guzzle or something like that. Let's do this. Let's publish the configuration file. Yep, that's it. And let me show you the configuration in the editor. So here is my application. Let's see, config Paddle. And this is the configuration file where we have to update 3 settings: vendor ID, vendor auth code, and public key. So let's do that before we go any further. Let's go to the Paddle dashboard. And here there's a section developer tools, and there you can find authentication. So here I can find my vendor ID right here. So let's copy that one. And before I forget, let's copy these keys to the environment file. So in the bottom right here, my vendor ID, something like this. And then my auth code is secret. So I am, well, let's wait with that. I will copy that in a minute. Let me show you the public key, which you can find here. Let's copy that one. Yeah. And now I will secretly copy my auth code, if I can do that. Let's see. This is harder than I thought. Where is reveal code? And let's copy it right here. So I hope I don't have to open the environment settings again, but I'm using a demo account, so even if you... So yeah, now you know my code, but who cares? Revoke. And let's generate another one. I'm sorry, guys. Should have thought this through. Reveal. Let's try again. Environment. Copy. Close the environment file. Before I forget. Close it on Paddle. So now we're good to go. So we've got the vendor ID, auth code, and public key set up. And the public key is a way to verify the incoming webhooks. So I'll show you that in a minute. Don't worry. Let's create a product page. So I'm gonna grab something from Tailwind UI. Let's see. Pricing sections. Yeah, maybe this one. Let's do that. Copy. And then in the dashboard, I will make a sub view to keep things a bit clean. Include product. Let's paste it in and let's see if it works. Refresh the page. And yeah, I think I forgot to make it a white background, but I can't be bothered really. Maybe if I remove this. Yeah. Let's see. We can remove this background and then the top. Oh, here it is, background white. Yeah, that's better. So yeah, we've got a little pricing component right here. And now when we click this button, I want to create a payment at Paddle. So how are we going to do that? Let's go to the Paddle dashboard again. And in the catalog, I've created a product. And this product is called Laravel course, and I'm selling it for $5 US. In this dashboard, it's really easy to create a new product. So you can create a product that you can download, or you can use a license or a Paddle license. It's really simple. And every product has a product ID. So that's the one, this is the one we need. And let's start by finding the button. Where is it? Right here, get access. So if we click on this button, we want to open the Paddle checkout box. So I'm going to change this price to $5 and then unclick, maybe something like open or purchase product, maybe buy product. And then we give it that product ID. So this one. And then let's open a script tag. And here we will add a function by product, which takes the product ID. And this is where we want to open the Paddle checkout box. But before we do that, there's one more thing we have to do. So we have set up this this configuration from the package. And the thing we that's left to do is add this Paddle blade directive. And I'll show you what that does in a minute. So let's see, dashboard extends the app layout. So let's find that. Layout app. And then just before the closing tag of the body, we will insert this Paddle directive. And what this does is it will include the Paddle.js from the Paddle CDN. You don't want to include this file in your own JavaScript package, in your bundle. You always want to use the latest version from Paddle itself. And then when this is loaded from the internet, we will set up Paddle with the vendor ID from the configuration. So you don't have to do that manually. And I'm gonna grab this so I don't have to type it manually. So let's make a bit room on this screen. So now we have access to this Paddle object, and we can do something like Paddle, checkout, and then open. And we can give it an object with options. And one of the keys is product. So, and of course, product should be this product ID. So let's see if this works. Let's go to Firefox and refresh our page. For $5, get access, and it doesn't work. So why doesn't it work? Let's see. Paddle checkout is undefined. So something is wrong with the app layout. Let's see if we included the Paddle at all. Yeah, it's loading right here. So that's fine. Oh, I think I need an uppercase checkout. I need to do this. Let's see. Yeah, now it works. So as you can see, we're already we've got this little overlay opened with the model, and I can buy the Laravel course. And here you can see it's not $5 US, but it's $6.05 because it's got the tax included. So Paddle does that for you. You can configure it to don't do it, I think. So now when somebody pays this, I think I get $5, and Paddle handles the rest of it, so $1.05 with the tax, and there's probably some fee for them as well. But you can also say, configure it to let the customer pay $5, and then they do some magic calculation. So you pay the right amount of tax, or they pay the right amount of tax. So yeah. In this model, we can let the user fill in the email address, but of course we already know the email address because the user is logged in. So what you can do is also give it the email address of the user. So in this case, that should be something like auth user email, maybe. Let's see if that works. Get access. Yeah, and now it's already filled in. So here it is. And of course, you can do the same with the country and the postcode, and you can find it in the documentation. So let's see if I can open the documentation. Docs. Let's make this bigger. So the checkout API. So this is the API. Checkout. I think this is the one, Paddle checkout. So this is the one we are using. Again, this is the little script to set up Paddle, which we are doing with the blade directive. And here you can see it. Paddle, checkout, open, and then you give the product ID. And you can customize the checkout by passing more parameters. So this is great, but we are, of course, we want to know when somebody's paid for the product. So how are we going to do that? Somehow Paddle needs to inform us that the payment was successful. And we can do that with webhooks. So Paddle can call one of our routes with some data, and you need to configure that as well. So of course I'm running on localhost now, so Paddle can't reach my my little website. So we can fix that by using expose. Expose is a tool from Beyond Code, and this generates a public URL that magically redirects to my local machine. So let's see. Yeah, this works. So now on this route, we can receive webhooks. And webhooks are configured automatically with a package. You don't have to do anything for it. So let's go to Paddle and go to webhooks. And here we have a webhooks simulator. We've got some history, and this is the good stuff. URL for receiving webhook alerts. This is what we need. So we give it our public URL, and then we need to give it the route Paddle webhook, I think. You can configure this in the don't need to save this. You can configure it in the Paddle configuration file right here. Webhook URI. So it's now set to Paddle webhook. So you just enter your URL and then Paddle webhook. That's it. And you can check which alerts you want to receive. I've checked them all. So let's save it. And then what you can do, this is really cool. Let's go to the package. All these webhooks are mapped to these events. So for now, we're going to listen to, I think, payment succeeded. Because, yeah, we want to know if somebody bought our course for $5. So what you can do is go to your event service provider in Laravel, add the event and import it. And then you can attach listeners to it. So yeah, let's create a listener. Art. So yeah, I've got a little shortcut for PHP Artisan. Make listener. And maybe we'll do something like store products. Or maybe payment. Yeah, store payment. I think that's fine. Or successful. Successful payment. That's the one. So whenever this event is fired, payment succeeded, we're gonna store the payment. So, and in this listener, we're gonna handle the payment succeeded event. Let's get rid of this. So here we have our next problem. How do we know which user bought our product? At this moment, we don't know, except we know the email address of the user. But yeah, you might don't want to check on the email address. Maybe you want to pass the user ID with the payment. And you can do that as well. So gonna close some things. So here in the checkout, you can add another key that's called pass-through. And you can give it some data. So you can give it an object, and then you can give it a user ID. And let's pass in the user ID of the authenticated user. Something like this. Let's see if I didn't make a mistake. Pass through. Yeah, this should work. So let's try that. So we've got this event handler, and maybe we just log everything for now. So log, and then payment succeeded. And you can, every paddle event has a method all that just returns all data from the event. You will see that in a minute. So let's buy one of our products. Let's go to the website. Let's close this. Refresh. And get access. I don't have a coupon. I don't have a VAT number. So now I can pay with PayPal, and I'm gonna click the button on another screen because I have no idea what's gonna happen. Don't want to share too much personal details. PayPal. So it's still circling. Let's see. I'm logged in to PayPal. So yeah, let's see. So here you can see it's shipping to me. Let's scroll to the bottom. It's a little over €5. So it's also showing the currency. I'm just gonna click on continue and see what happens. It's processing, and oh, now the payment, the paddle. Oh, it's successful. So the payment was successful. Let's see if we got something in our logs. So I open the terminal. Let's go to expose. And we received a webhook from Paddle, but we've got an internal error. So there's something wrong on our end of the website. But the webhook did work. So let's open the log. What did we do wrong? Oh, there's something wrong with the public key. All right. I'm gonna verify if I copied it correctly. Public key. Yeah, I think I made a mistake. Yep. Of course. So I've updated the public key. And I think you can retry webhooks in Paddle. So let's see. Oh, my balance is up, of course. That's great. Developer tools, webhooks. Let's go to the history. And there you can see 3 webhooks were tried. unsuccessfully. So let's retry the payment succeeded. And let's see what happens. It was queued for retry. And now we've got 200, okay. So this listener is executed if everything is correct. So in our log, scroll to the bottom. Yeah, we've got payments succeeded with all the data from the webhook. So we've got an alert ID, we've got an alert name, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. Let's enable wrapping. So here you can see my email address, for example, but also the pass-through. So we're gonna need this. This is still JSON. It's not the decoded object, but the package takes care of that. I'll show you that in a minute. One thing I want to show you is that you can view the details of the webhook in Paddle as well. So this payment succeeded, the last one. You can open the details, and there you'll find all the data I just show you in the log. And here's that pass-through. So how does this work? This is the Paddle event, and the all method just returns all the webhook data, the stuff you see right here. And then there is a magic getter, so you can get keys from the data fluently. And there's also a little if statement to check if you are getting the pass-through data. And if you do that, it's gonna decode the pass-through data. If it's valid JSON, it will return that. So what you can do in this listener, you can do something like event and then alert ID, or maybe event, what do we have? Maybe product ID. You want to know which product was bought. And you can do the same with pass-through. But this doesn't return a JSON string. This is already decoded. So now you can do something like this, right? And what you actually want to do is you want to save this product, for example, in the database. So for now, for the demo, let's create a model and a migration. PHP artisan, make model, and then maybe something like product payment with a migration. And we are going to add a foreign ID for the user ID, and maybe an integer for the product ID. Something like that. And then right here, you could do product payment, create. Let's grab this. User ID equals user ID from the pass-through, and product ID. Let's call this Paddle product ID, so we can't confuse it with our own product IDs, if we have any. And of course, let's update it in the migration as well. And one thing I always forget is to unguard the model. I always unguard everything like this. So now we can successfully store this product payment in the database. So let's try this. Should we try this again? Maybe I'll show you one other way to do this before we try it again. So in the product view, we are opening the checkout with the product ID and the email address and the pass-through. And maybe you don't want to do this in JavaScript. You could do this. This is probably fine. But maybe you want to do this in your controller or maybe somewhere else. This route is located in the web routes view. It doesn't have a controller. But yeah, it's just a demo, so it doesn't really matter. In this route, we're going to generate the checkout URL. Let me show you. So the package comes with a Paddle facade. This one. Let's get rid of the comments. And on that facade, we can call the product method and then generate paylink. And we can give it an array of data. And let's open it. And I've added all the links to the documentation for each method. So let's open it. Here are the request body, the stuff we can give it. So the vendor ID and vendor auth code is handled by the package. You don't have to do that. But of course, we need to give it a product ID, which is not required, by the way. So if you don't give it a product ID, you need to give it a title and a price yourself. But we've defined the product, so let's do that. Let's go back to the web route. Product ID. And then, of course, I did not remember it. Where's my dashboard? Ah, it was this one. Product ID. Yeah, that's fine. And then I want to give the email address of the user. And I think it's called customer email, but I'm not sure. Yeah, customer email. Which is the user's email. So let's grab the user. And yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Let's see if this works. We're gonna give it a country and a postcode as well. But then, of course, we still don't know the user ID. So we still have to give it that pass-through with the user ID. And here we can give it an array as well. So user ID equals user ID. And then we need to send this request. And I'm gonna grab it. So check out URL. And let's dump it. Let's see what it looks like. So let's go back to our application. Close this. Let's refresh. And we've got an error because I called it checkout URL. Refresh. So now we've got a new URL, which is a custom URL. And there's no data in it. Of course there is. This is probably some encrypted data right here. But you don't have to worry about that. The cool thing about this is that you can't mess with the URL. That's something that I worry about. So we get an array back, so we need this URL key. Let's try it one more time. So yeah, now we've got a string, the URL. And we're gonna pass this URL to the dashboard, to our product view. So right here in product, instead of giving all the details in JavaScript, we can just give it the URL. So we can do that with override and then give it the checkout URL. And you can find it in the documentation at the top. So this stuff right here. This is yeah. You can find the link to this documentation in the package as well. But you just have to give it this custom checkout URL with the override key. So yeah, let's see if this works. I'm gonna save this. Maybe a small recap. From the web routes, we are grabbing the authenticated user. And then with the Paddle API, we are generating a pay link for one of our products. We're giving it some customer information. And with the pass-through key, we are giving the user ID. So when it comes back to us, when the payment succeeded, we know which user paid the product. All right. So before I forget, I need to migrate the database because now we have this product payments table. Let's see. Yeah, we have, and it's empty, of course. So back to our application. Let's refresh the page. We still have this beautiful Tailwind component. We're gonna click on get access and nothing happens again. So there's probably a mistake somewhere. Yeah, of course. This was bound to fail. We need to wrap it, of course, because it's a string. Let's see. Yeah, now it works. So it's loading the Paddle model again. Yeah, it's got my email address. It's got the right product. So I'm gonna click on the payment, on the PayPal button again on another screen because there's some personal information on that checkout. But this is more or less the same as before. So here you can see it. I've got a product of $6.05 in the basket. I'm gonna click continue. It's processing. And it was successful. Now, let's see if we've got something in the database. That would be awesome. And we have. So that's cool. So what did just happen? Paddle confirmed that the payment was successful. So let's refresh the alert. So yeah, this stuff right here, this is my latest attempt. So the payment succeeded. And because it did, it posted this data to my webhook URL. So I've got this set up with expose. And it's calling this URL with all this data. And the package is handling the verification for this. So you don't have to worry about it. Whenever the webhook is called, let's open the service provider. So here we've got that payment succeeded event from the package. And when this event is dispatched, this listener is called. So this is the listener we just created, which just stores the user ID from the pass-through and the Paddle product ID to the database. So that just happened. And let me show you how the webhook is handled by the package. Let's open the terminal and do artisan route list. So here we've got all the Laravel Breeze routes, but we also got this Paddle webhook. And this Paddle webhook is handled by a controller that comes with the package, the webhook controller. And that is this one right here. So this is where the request comes in. And before it's going to fire the event, it's going to verify the signature of the event, of the webhook, so I'm sorry. So the webhook has this P signature key, which is some hash or a signature actually, that we need to verify. And the package verifies the signature with our Paddle public key. So that's why you need that public key, to make sure that Paddle is the one sending you webhooks. So of course this route, this Paddle webhook route, is public, so everybody can post something to it, but you want to make sure that it's Paddle, who's sending you this request. So when the verification is done and it didn't fail, there is a bit of magic going on in this method. You don't have to worry about it, but what it does, it's firing this event, payment succeeded. And you can listen for all these events. So now we are just selling products, but of course you can do subscriptions as well. And you can maybe listen for subscription created or subscription updated. You can find all of these in the Paddle documentation. So here in webhooks, you can find all of these webhooks, and they're also listing all the data that comes with a webhook. So that's really a great way to handle your payments. So let's do a small recap before finishing this stream. We've installed the Laravel Paddle package. We've published the configuration file, and we've updated the vendor ID, auth code, and public key, which you can all find on the Paddle dashboard. And then in your product view or in your payment view or whatever you call it, you can call this Paddle checkout model, and you can give it a product ID, the email address of your user, and you can give it additional data. That's one way to do it, but you can also override it with a custom checkout URL. And in this case, this checkout URL comes from our web view, from the web routes file. So with the Paddle API, we are generating a custom checkout URL with the product, and we're also giving here the customer data, the email address, country code, postcode, and here we are passing the user ID through as well. So we are grabbing the custom URL from the Paddle API, and we are giving it to the blade view, and then in the blade view we give that URL to the Paddle checkout. And then because webhooks are set up, which is done automatically by the package, you can listen for webhooks by using the default event service provider that comes with every Laravel application. So here we are listening for successful payments, and we've attached our own listener to it. So store successful payments. And when you open it, you can see that we're handling this event, this Paddle event, and we are just storing some data in the database. That's it for now. So maybe I will do another stream on subscriptions. But if you want to get started with subscription, you might want to take a look at Laravel Cashier. if you pronounce it that way. It was always built with Stripe in mind, I think, but I guess maybe since 1 or 2 years, actually I really don't know. Dries was has worked really hard on a Paddle version of it. So if you're looking for a way to handle subscriptions and invoices and all that stuff, just take a look at this Cashier package. It's really great. And I think the next generation of Laravel Spark is also built with Paddle in mind, which is going to be released in a week, I think. So yeah, that's it for today. Like I said, I think next week I will do a little session on subscriptions without the Cashier package, but just with the Laravel Paddle package. And I think I will publish this on GitHub, like all previous streams as well. So you can maybe check out the code and grab some things you like or not, whatever you want. Yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to stay up to date on new streams. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye bye.